Always read the label, or when real isn't real enough. Another way of supplementing my income in those days, or to just fill hours on my timesheet, was to serve as a board op or shift operation manager for the station, the same task that Marvin T. Brown was doing when I monitored those levels of Nancy Lang a few months earlier. This required a 4-hour or so stint in the station's master control, loading tapes, inserting station IDs, promos, and public service announcements, or PSAs, to be broadcast supposedly live, but everything was on tape. A program log was published which specified which programs, IDs, promos were to run and at what time. You had to have a third-class FCC broadcast operator's permit in order to even do this job, which I had already obtained. The day's taped programs were arranged in bins like large mail slots to the right of the on-air broadcast console. The continuous loop tape cartridges were stored in metal racks within reach of the board. The bank of Ampex and Scully 10-inch tape machines were mounted in racks to the left of the console. On the opposite side of master control was the audio console for Studio B, where I had monitored the levels of Nancy Lang on that evening of my first real encounter with FM radio. The afternoon in question called for completing the current program, running a couple of promos, and the FCC required station ID on the hour. The 2 p.m. program, Music from Oberlin, was queued up on the tape machine. The box label said, Music from Oberlin, running time, 58 minutes, opens with applause. On the label was scribbled a notation, the letters T/O. Well, I didn't know what TO was, but as it turns out, it meant the tape hadn't been rewound after the last playing of it. A frequent broadcast practice, I was now learning, was to leave a tape tails out as it provided a better wind on the hub, minimized the chance or being rewound at high speed over and over, and the chance of it cupping the tape or damaging the edges, which tend to happen after rewinding it. I mounted the Music from Oberlin tape, played enough of it to hear the opening applause, manually wound it back a quarter a turn to allow for transition without any wow effect, and returned to the audio board to close out the previous program, play the promos and the station ID. As the clock's sweep hand struck 1:59:55, I pushed the start button, and right at 2 p.m., you heard the sound of applause as the program supposedly began. Within a few seconds, a foreign-sounding began emanating from the speakers. The program was playing backwards. Who knew that applause sounds the same backwards as it does forwards? Quickly, I slapped a, due to technical difficulty, cartridge in the tape player and hit the button. I quickly stopped the Oberlin tape, grabbed a 10-inch reel in each hand, flipped the reels over, hit the rewind button, and rewound the program to its true beginning. Now, correctly queued up, I hit the We Now Join Our Program Already in Progress cartridge, restarted the Music from Oberlin program, and, since I had lost a couple of minutes in the process, faded out of the program at 2:59, a few minutes before its actual conclusion. I think I made a note in the discrepancy log as to what had happened to cover my tracks, but to my knowledge, no one ever noticed or certainly didn't complain about the snafu. But lesson learned, tails out means rewind before playing.